Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So before we start, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and press notifications so you'll get updates on this case of Celeste Rivas and all the other cases that we're dealing with at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my members. Thank you to all of you who've bought me Ko-Fis, sent super stickers, or PayPal'd me. Thank you so much. I appreciate every positive input into my channel. Thank you. Okay, so let's put the banner down and we're going to talk about Celeste today. I feel like we're really building up to an arrest in this case. And I watched a presentation by Nancy Grace, which I thought was very good, and it had some interesting points in it that I didn't know about. So we're going to watch that together. I'm going to react to it. If you're not already subscribed to Nancy Grace, please go over there and subscribe. She does very interesting videos about all the sort of crimes that are happening at the moment. I think Nancy's a very astute person. At the end of the day, she was a defence barrister, wasn't she? For years, she has good contacts, so she has interesting guests on. And looking at, and what I like about it as well, some of the other YouTubers have noticed they're referring to Celeste as a woman, you know, saying, no, a woman that he knew. Celeste was not a woman. She was a child, you know, 13 years old, maybe even younger when they first got together. Her and David, this horrible man that is, well, we don't know that he's done it to her, but he's in the frame, isn't he? She was found in his car. And I think Nancy, her outrage always matches mine because she always has the victims in mind, justice in mind. So, yeah. Good. So I do enjoy her videos, and I found this one, started watching it, and found this interesting. As I say, she's got good connections, she has good guests on, so we get insights. I feel like there may be an arrest coming here. No, supposedly the indictment is nearly finished. Will it come quickly? I certainly hope so, because it's been a long time now since Celeste's body was found in the front of the singer David's car. You know, one way or another, he's got to have something to do with it because it was his car. It was found in then. Since then, this girl was having a relationship with him. Since then, it's transpired that he had a burn cage in his home and also a chainsaw. Unused, but what was he doing with them? So yeah, I do feel that there will be an arrest coming soon. Let's hope so. So let's have a look at this video. I'm going to comment on it when appropriate, and of course let me know what you think about it all in comments.
His girlfriend in a trunk of his car.
I definitely smell a rat.
We need to delete it.
A dead body in your trunk can really hurt your reputation.
Residents in Hollywood Hills grow tired of a dusty 2023 Tesla Model Y with a Texas plate parked on the street for a month and report the vehicle. Days later, employees at Hollywood Tow notice a foul odor coming from the car and call police. Officers discover a decomposing body found in a bag in the frunk of the Tesla. Human remains wrapped in plastic, placed in a bag, and hidden in the front trunk of the Tesla are severely decomposed and partially dismembered. Police say the person was.
Now notice this photo, which I presume is from school or something. Celeste, that's, you know, she is actually smiling on that. On all the other photos that we see, I've mentioned it before, it's just this sort of slight smile, almost an apologetic smile. She never looks really that happy, does she? It's a shame.
A female, 5'2", weighing 71 pounds, with wavy black.
And that's a nice photo of Celeste where she looks joyful. I think that is literally the only one that I've seen where she looks actually joyful. And, you know, most girls her age taking selfies, etc., whether they're feeling joyful or not, I don't know, but they normally do smile on their photos, don't they? That's a beautiful picture of Celeste. I mean, she was a beautiful girl, whatever, but she looks more beautiful when she's smiling. I hope she did have some happy times, bless her, in her very short life.
Hair and was wearing a tube top and black leggings. The person.
So, yeah, note that when she was found, apparently she was wearing a tube top and black leggings. Here again, see how sad she looks.
Appears deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found.
A missing little girl, Celeste, just 13 years old when she goes missing, found decomposing, partially dismembered, in a Star's Tesla trunk, who is now whining because his tour is canceled. The music star I'm talking about has gone multi-platinum. But before I talk about all of his...
I do love her outrage. Because, yeah, so apparently, of course, because of, or in spite of, or, he was on the threshold of big stardom, wasn't he, David, before this all happened? And he had to cancel his tours, though he did not cancel them immediately. I think it's important to remember as well. He did not cancel them when it was just reported a body was found in his car. He cancelled them when her name was released, and it turned out it was this young 13-year-old girl, 14-year-old girl. So, he wasn't quick to cancel. It wasn't an instant thing. So I think it's important to remember that. But yeah, of course, now this case, apart from his fans that he had before, this case has invoked, a surge of interest in David's videos, releases, everything, so he is, more famous now than he was before, and more popular and probably richer than he was before because he's not been arrested yet.
His musical success and how much money he's making and how famous he is. Can I show you what he just reposted? Okay. Of a guy chopping up luncheon meat. And
so apparently he's just reposted this on TikTok. I'm not on his TikTok. I might look for it at some point. Which is somebody cutting up ham. And the sort of words on it are me if I see her talk with other dudes chopping up ham. I mean, even if he wasn't under suspicion for the death of someone who'd been found in his car, why would you do that? I mean, that's not even funny, is it, really, when you're thinking, keeping in mind what does happen to women and girls under domestic violence, etc. So it was that David's attitude to his girlfriend, his possession, and wasn't allowed to speak with other dudes. Oh God, this man, I hate him already.
He says, me, if I see her talk with other dudes. Not a good look when your then 13-year-old girlfriend is found dismembered and decomposing in your Tesla. And as I recall to Israel Salas Rodriguez joining us, senior news reporter, U.S. Sun, not just dismembered and decomposing. I mean, by the way, that video is from @Brian on TikTok. You could smell the trunk as you approached the Tesla. And isn't this true, Israel Salas Rodriguez, that the Tesla was noticed by the neighborhood because it was so dusty and it had been sitting there for so long? My point is, how could somebody put a then 13-year-old little girl in a trunk and leave the car there for weeks on end? How long was that car sitting there, Israel?
That's right, Nancy. So the car was...
Now, I just want to interrupt there a minute because, some of the videos that David had done were of putting a body in a trunk, apparently a lot of them have disappeared now off his social medias. He was selling it, merchant, you know, how YouTubers, etc., sell merch. Most of us sell a mug or something. Oh no, David was selling shirts with blood spatters all over them to go with his what's the word I'm looking for? To go with his videos and things like that. So yeah, blood spattered tops, etc. You know, why would you do that? And we don't know the timeline, if those videos were made after Celeste went in this trunk. You know, whether the videos were inspired by what he allegedly did to Celeste, or was what he did to Celeste inspired by the videos. So he's a very strange man. You know, to make videos of putting a body in a trunk and then suddenly a body is found, in the front of his car.
Reportedly sitting there for weeks in an affluent neighborhood in Los Angeles, the Hollywood Hills. Neighbors complained about a foul odor coming from the Tesla. However, it wasn't until early September when authorities finally impounded that vehicle from the neighborhood.
Was the Tesla moved a couple of times when it was sitting out on the street?
That's unclear right now, Nancy. However, there was reports from neighbors that the Tesla was parked in a home in that same area in the Hollywood Hills, and then days later, it was parked on the sidewalk.
It's a little weird to see a car that I haven't seen here for a long time. Had a big dent on it, had a Texas plate on it. So all a little odd.
One neighbor says the distinct looking.
Yeah, so the car was distinctive because it was so dirty. It had a Texas plate on it, but it was in the Hollywood Hills, had a big dent in it. So thing is as well, when you're in a residential neighborhood, you do notice cars around. You know, if a car appeared outside my house or on my street, especially if it was distinctive like that with the dust all over it and the dent. And, you know, maybe the first day you wouldn't think anything, but if a week later it was still there and then 2 weeks later it was still there, you know, you definitely would notice it. And if when the smell started coming out of it.
Tesla was parked on the street for some time in front of the house that was searched, and later in two other spots on the street. The vehicle stood out because it has a Texas plate and a big dent.
That from our friends at WABC 7. To Dave Mack joining me, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Isn't it true, Dave, that she was so decomposed, she had to be forensically identified? Isn't that true?
Absolutely correct, Nancy.
Okay, again, Joe Scott Morgan, I'm just a felony prosecutor.
So, yeah, very sad. I mean, she couldn't easily buy it, but she had to be forensically identified, which, of course, means she wasn't visibly recognizable. I mean, it's so very sad, isn't it, that she was just left there like that. It's awful, even more awful. I think sometimes what happens to people after they are unalived can be worse than the thought of the actual unaliving, you know, just the way, the total disregard that people can have for human remains that were once people they supposedly loved. I mean, if is alleged, David had something to do with Celeste's demise, you know, presumably once she was his girlfriend. So to have that callous disregard for someone, you know, that you shared your life with, shared your bed with, just is even worse, isn't it? You know, to instead of just sort of fessing up and, you know, who knows what happened. And the other question I've got is he the thickest criminal ever, this guy? I mean, you know, to leave her in a car for ages, it's not the cleverest thing to do either, is it? So, and then for it to be towed away, I mean, oh God, you know, what is he on, this guy?
Could you explain what that means? I mean, I'm guessing that means that they didn't open the trunk and look at her and go, that's the little missing girl, Celeste. She had to be forensically identified.
Yeah, to kind of frame this out a little bit, Nancy, her Celeste measurements, her weight specifically in life, you ready for this, was 120 pounds. The remains that they have are somewhere in the neighborhood of 70. So no, they could not have been able to actually visualize her and say, yeah, this is Celeste.
So, yeah, weighing 50 pounds less than she weighed normally. And that's because she decomposed so much. Bless her. Oh, bless this girl. I hope she's at peace somewhere, though I don't think she will be at peace yet. She'll be at peace when whoever did this to her gets held accountable.
Yes, this is who we've been looking for. No, they're going to go at this. I do understand that she has specific tattoos, and they were able to use that. I can only assume her family's involved in this.
Put them up, please. Okay, specifically one tattoo, a tiny tattoo on the inside of her finger. It says, shh, shh, and you could only see it if that finger was held up. There it is. There's the shh. Now, I just saw another tattoo, and I'd like to see it again. That was the other tattoo on her finger. So Mom and Dad couldn't see her tattoos. David. Wow. David.
Yeah, that's interesting because at the end of the day, why would a 13-year-old girl have tattoos? I think you have to get permission from your parents, don't you, to have tattoos at that age? And that's probably why they're on the inside of her fingers, etc. So that, they're not easily visible, easily hidden. Got the shush tattoo, which David also had. And then she's got David. I mean, thank God, these are all incriminating against David, aren't they? It's not written in the pretentious way that he likes to write it. For his music career with the D4VD, it's David written out in full. So it's almost like a branding, I think. When men, especially older men, want younger women like that to have their name tattooed on them, it's like a branding almost, isn't it? So like, you're mine. Anyway, apparently David had the shush tattoo as well, so they were like joint tattoos. I mean, who's done these tattoos? Who has, most reputable tattoo artists know that if you're under the age of 16, you need parental permission, even if you can have him. I'm not sure what the law is, but I know that, obviously 13-year-old girls can't just go off and have a tattoo. So who has done this tattoo? Someone who thought were they told she was older, but don't they have to see some sort of proof of age? Anyway, they're incriminating towards David, aren't they?
David, the musician, and it's on her ring finger. Hello? David.
Hello.
The musician, and it's on her ring finger. But what's interesting, can I see Joe Scott, please? The shh tattoo. What a coinkydink that David, some people look at his name and it looks like D4VD, and he pronounces it David. He has the same tattoo on his index finger. What a coincidence. Isn't that odd, Joe Scott Morgan?
Yeah, what else is odd is that a child this age has tattoos. All right, so just let that sink in just for a second. The fact that she does have this tattoo, though, was certainly beneficial as far as getting her remains identified. And listen, you can't just go based upon the tattoo. There are other elements here. We have
Look
some
at that,
clothing.
Joe Scott. We were just showing her with the ring on her ring finger. That's on her left hand. When she goes missing, she's 13 years old. Listen to this.
The 13-year-old became friends with singer David on social media and ran away to Hollywood to see the rising star. Celeste was returned home to Lake Elsinore by police. Celeste remained in school for a month. Then in May, David picked Celeste up in a Tesla to go to the movies, and she has been gone ever since.
This little girl disappears.
Funny that, isn't it? He picked her up in a Tesla to go to the movies and she'd never been seen since.
For the first time when she is just 13 years old, after she goes to meet a musician who has gone multi-platinum, and they start talking online. She goes to a concert, somehow hooks up with him, and they start talking online. That's the working.
Yeah, that's his full name, David Anthony Burke, and he has not been charged. We do have to remember that. He remains innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Theory. He's not charged with anything, and I'm very curious about that decision. Let's hear it all from the horse's mouth.
Hello, my name is David, pronounced David, not D4VD. I'm from Queens, New York.
Do you know, is he thick or what? Do you think people really thought your name was pronounced D4VD? You know, who do you think you're talking to? Do you think your fans are as thick as you are? He's so irritating, isn't he? And he's like, you know, pretends he's intelligent, but actually he's not. He's thick.
I'm in Houston now. I am a gamer. I love video games. I wanted to be a professional gamer before music. That's actually what pushed me into music, was getting copyright strikes on YouTube. And I kind of just used my own music in my montages after my mom told me to. I was crying to her about it.
That is from the Genius YouTube channel.
The 20-year-old became a YouTube star playing his favorite game, Fortnite, and commentary. His channel was defunded due to his use of popular music he used on his videos that he did not license. He says his mother told him to make it.
You know, YouTube doesn't like music. You're using other people's music. It does demonetize you. Look, she is actually smiling there. That's probably one of the most I've seen her smile. She's looking at him. She's obviously in love with him. It'd be easy for a man like him, with his money and his pseudo-intellectualism, you know, pretending he's clever when actually he's thick. It'd be easy for him to manipulate a young girl like this, wouldn't it?
His own music for his videos. He downloaded a free music app for his phone, and his music career was born. Using his own music in his gaming montages, Burke begins uploading his tracks to SoundCloud. His music gains more attention than his gaming montages.
Now, you know, I've just been calling him a thicko, but he's quite clever, really, isn't he, I suppose? I mean, it's, you know, if it wasn't for what's happened with Celeste, you'd think, oh, good for you, you know, you go, guy. There he is. He's set up his, you know, started from nothing, you know, just gaming, started his own music, become famous, you know, took his mum's advice. And done really well. You know, you would be sort of applauding him for doing that. So, you know, what's all this with Celeste then? Why jeopardize that as well? The thing is, these sort of people, you know, you feel, he's sort of got everything really, hasn't he? You know, an aspiring career that's taken off, and you know, and he jeopardizes it all, first of all, by getting involved with a 13-year-old girl in the first place. I mean, is that what happened? Did it all become did he suddenly realize that he was becoming famous? And if this came out about Celeste, it would ruin his chances at becoming super famous? Is that the reason behind it? People are saying all sorts of things. They talk about Satanism. You name it, it's being talked about until he's actually charged and we get to know more. But yeah, it is a shame, you know, on a human level, not only for Celeste, but this man, I mean, a young man, but a man all the same, you know, really on the threshold of having everything. And has he ruined it all? You know, it's something to do with him. You know, maybe it'll turn out somebody else killed Celeste. I don't know, but it's his car. He's the one with the bloody burn cage and the chainsaw in his house. He's the one that was going out with Celeste. So he's got to be the likeliest suspect, hasn't he?
Produced song Romantic Homicide goes viral, leading to a record deal. Yes. Romantic Homicide is certified multi-platinum.
Has anybody actually looked at the lyrics of Romantic Homicide? Let's put it up on the screen so we can all take a look. Okay, we definitely need to shrink on.
Now, we looked at these lyrics quite a few weeks ago now, but let's look again.
This. In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true. Do I love you? No, I hate you. In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry. No, not a single tear. And I'm sick of waiting patiently for someone that won't even arrive. Take a listen to David promoting his song, Romantic Homicide.
So what inspired the hook, In the Back of My Mind You Died, is kind of like the storytelling aspect of the lyrics that came before it, in a way that it builds up to the big moment where she died in the back of my mind. Like, I didn't kill her physically, but in the back of my mind, she died. And I didn't even cry, not a single tear.
That is from the Genius YouTube channel. A lot of you may...
Yeah, so did the lyrics come first before the homicide, alleged homicide? Or did the alleged homicide come first before the lyrics? Because we don't know a timeline.
Not be familiar with his music. It's not rap. It's more like R&B. I've listened to a lot of it, specifically Romantic Homicide. He's also ventured into clothing. I'd like you to see some of the shirts that he...
Yeah, so she's going to talk about the merch now. You know, you think about the merch that YouTubers normally have, you know, their T-shirts or mugs and things like that. David's is a little bit different.
David has offered online for sale.
Yep.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, are those blood spattered shirts? It looks like, is it in a car? I don't know where it is, but...
Yeah, it's from that video probably where he's loading the body up into the car. And why has he got a plaster on his nose? Did he have a scratch? He's got that look in his eyes there. Reminds me of the Brian Coburg selfie, you know, after he'd committed the murders, and he looked sort of sated. It was a horrible, horrible selfie, you know, in the bathroom in front of the shower curtain, almost as if after he'd just showered and he took a selfie of himself. That's what this picture looks like. I mean, obviously those shirts, that's, you know, they are, that's not, well, I don't think it's blood that's genuine blood. But yeah, what sort of a... And then that's the thing is, if it's true that he has murdered Celeste and put her in the car, why would you rub it in like this and do, you know, what? It's like drawing attention to yourself. Did he really think it would never get found out, so it wouldn't matter that he'd done these things? Wouldn't get tied. So, you know, his eyes are really creeping me out there. Did he think that just because Celeste was a runaway, a troubled teen, nobody would ever look for her? You know, and the body would never... Yeah, I think he had plans for that body. Makes you wonder if that chainsaw, that burn cage, maybe just hadn't had time to do anything. But do you think he had plans for disposing properly of the body and he thought he was going to get away with it? Because he's very sort of flagrant about everything, isn't he? And he, you know, that's what I mean. Is he just really that thick?
That's him with blood-spattered shirts. To Joanna Nevis, veteran criminal defense attorney. Joanna, you are fully versed in guilty conscience. Sometimes the cleanup is worse than the crime, the cover-up, so to speak. Why would he suddenly remove shots of him with bloody T-shirts? It looks like it's even in a car. Why? Why would he do that suddenly?
You know, Nancy, so many people, especially celebrities, are represented by, what we say, like public relations representatives who will advise them to do certain things so that they can attack things before the damage happens. And, you know, this is somebody who was...
Yeah, so he's been advised probably to remove all these things now that he has, but of course people have copies of them. It's like, you know, it'd be like the Yorkshire Ripper sort of posting on social media a picture of his bloody hammer or something. You know, you just think, why did he even do that? And maybe, is it so obvious that it's not true? You know, that, or did he just think he was that clever?
In the spotlight, he's already being attacked about his lyrics. He's already being painted as the person who is, you know, likely responsible for this because he had a relationship with this person. And he is likely being told that he should take these images down. Although these images are a part of his overall brand, we're talking about creative expression.
I can't wait. I can't wait for you to try that on the jury. This was his artistic expression.
Artistic expression. Yeah. It looks like he's individually. He's even put handprints of, obviously, well, I say obviously, hopefully not real blood. But, you know, what artistic expression. And then the body's found in his trunk.
What more do we know about this guy?
Burke has released several singles, including Here With Me, that charted on the Billboard Hot 100. He has recorded 2 EPs, and last April released his first full album, Withered, with the Withered World Tour starting last month, and canceled the day the body in his Tesla was identified as Celeste. His deluxe album is shelved. His record label, Interscope, suspended the album's release and paused all promotional activities related to David. His endorsement deals are canceled.
What, do I have this correct to Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, that after Celeste's butchered remains are found in his Tesla trunk, he continues touring for several weeks until the outcry online it becomes too noisy to ignore?
It's unbelievable, Nancy, that bloody remains are found in a vehicle registered to you, yet you continue on this world tour like nothing was found in your car, and only stop when the remains are identified as a missing child from Lake Elsinore.
Yeah, it's just plain weird, isn't it? Because there's been a body found in my car, but I'll carry on with my tour and everything. Then it gets identified as Celeste, and then he stops his tour. What did he think? Did he think she was not going to get investigated, or did he just think, get as many concerts out the way as I can, get as much money in as I can before I have to stop? Ugh. It's mad, this case, isn't it?
He went on about his daily business after a bloody, chopped up, decomposed corpse was found in his abandoned car, Nancy. Think about all of this, and it goes beyond the pale of what any human being ever would do to another human being.
You know, Dave Mack, apparently you and I are the only ones concerned, because as of this moment, when we go to air tonight, there have been no charges at all. Okay, he's in a relationship with her. She's a runaway, times 2. She's been gone over a year with him. I bet if we timed those photos, we'd find out how long she's been with him. And now she's dead. Now, okay, look at this live stream video of David and Celeste.
Oh, yo, wait. Wait.
Oh, look at answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer.
Which one? What's good, David? Big fan, mixed by me. Bro, thank you, Mitochondria.
I gotta sound with him if you even. We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
That's right, friends, at the Daily Mail. An integral part of any homicide investigation is a timeline. Oh,
she's got a different dress on there, it must be. That's a nice dress, Nancy. Yeah, so saying, we should delete all this because, you know, you obviously realised on that stream. Said it's doing it. This is what I mean. Is he the thickest person ever? So this is a man having an affair with a 13-year-old girl. Even if you take away the thing about the body being found and everything, and doing a live stream with her, you know, like he's not trying to keep it secret at all. It's crazy.
Fine. It's critical. Based on a timeline, you can alibi people. You can unalibi other people that you're looking at as a suspect. It changes everything. And in the last hours, a video has emerged potentially placing this little girl, just 13 years old, when she goes missing, at a David D4VD concert in Maryland on August 24. Significance. Very quickly, Dave Mack, when was Celeste's body found in David Burke's Tesla trunk?
She was
Yeah,
found
lamb to
on
the
September the
slaughter.
8th.
And it had been sitting out on the street in posh Hollywood Hills for weeks that we know of. So that gives me a timeline. That's what I'm getting at. So if she is alive, if this is in fact her in the video, August 24, and then we've got September 7, that gives me a timeline. Let's take a look at the video right now. This video has been circulating. Video from @Clips of David on TikTok. Now, isn't it true? Melissa McCarty joining me, investigative reporter, host of the Killer Genes podcast, author of The Make.
Now, the thing is, a lot of people saying this wasn't her, but if it wasn't her, it's the absolute spit of her. Also, this girl has got a tube top on, which reportedly she was found with a tube top on.
Speaking of a crime reporter, Melissa, thank you for being with us. Isn't it true that Celeste's body was found in a black tube top and ripped jeans? Isn't that true, Melissa?
She was about 75 miles away from where she was living with her family in Lake Elsinore in the Hollywood Hills.
Now, I'm going to come back to you on that, Melissa, because I don't think she was living with her family anymore. She was at one time, and then she goes missing. And according to neighbors that we have heard about tonight, she had been living with this grown man, David Anthony Burke, a.k.a. David, for a long time. Some sources date her relationship back to her age 11. Did you see that picture of her as a little girl? Yeah, age 11. We can establish age 13. You are seeing video from @Clips of David on TikTok. I want to see that again because now we are learning. Moses Castillo joining me, former supervisor detective at LAPD, private investigator for the Dordillion Law Group. Castillo, look at this. People are saying, no, that's not her. So it's a woman a young girl that looks just like her, that is wearing her clothes, that is in a balcony reserved for special guests and family. And Moses Castillo. By the way, this is from.
Well, it certainly looks like her to me, and not only because of the hair and that, but it's the shape. But of course, I don't know. You know, girls can be the same shape, can't they? But people are saying it's not her. Maybe this doesn't quite look like her, the way the bangs are falling down here. But anyway, I don't know. But it's strange that it got the clothes on that reportedly she was found in. The ripped jeans and the tube top.
@Clips of David on TikTok. Moses, same clothes. People are saying, oh, wait, I don't think that's her. Sure looks like her. Who should I believe? Them or my lying eyes?
Yes, I believe it is her. And I believe many people also believe it's her.
Guys, this is from a Silver Springs, Maryland concert, August 24. And if true, these photos create a timeline from August.
Certainly looks like her, but the thing I would say as well then, if it isn't her, why has the person who it is not come forward? You know, with this big case, and they must have heard about this, and you come forward and say, oh no, that wasn't Celeste, that was me, I'm his roadie or his assistant or whoever the person is. Nobody's come forward to say who it is. They're just saying, oh no, it's not her. But nobody's saying who it in fact is.
This 24 until her decomposing body is found in Burke, artist known as David, Tesla, in an impound lot on September 8. It's reported the Tesla was parked on the street for about a month before being reported abandoned. There is, I assume that is the front of the tow lot. It was reported abandoned September 3. Now, we now have a timeline from August 24 to September 3. Not when the body was discovered in the parking in the tow lot, but when it was reported abandoned. The body was already in there. We have now.
Yeah, so she was reported missing on the 5th of April. And her remains were found in September. How long had she been there?
Narrowed the timeline down from August 24 to September 3. I want to show you another video that we dug up. Take a look at this. The words, I got time to kill, you got time to fill, we got blood to spill all over the new car seats that I'm sleeping on. Okay, let that sink in just for a moment. You got time to fill, we got blood to spill all over the new car seats that I'm sleeping on. Take a listen to this.
Friends of Burke thought Celeste was 19 and his girlfriend. Describing Burke as a very shy, quiet person, friends said they saw Burke and Celeste together a lot as a romantically involved couple. Thinking Celeste was a student at USC, friends of Burke saw Celeste at age-restricted venues and clubs.
So apparently she was being passed off as much older than she actually was. And I've noticed in all the photos that are posted of her, she's always covering her face. Very curious.
Well, she was missing, wasn't
Bombshell
she?
tonight. Crime Stories now streaming first on Fox 1. That's right. You can now watch all the new episodes of Crime Stories first with Fox 1. We are so proud to have a partner. $3+ million mansion. He was paying $20,000 a month and breaks a lease. So getting out of that mansion was more important to him than losing a lot of money.
Burke was living in a home leased by his manager, Josh Marshall. But since police served a search warrant looking for blood at the residence, the singer decided not to live in the $20,000 a month home. The owner, Mladen Trifunovic, says Marshall signed the lease in February, and he didn't know Burke was living in the house after.
Now, apparently this used to be the house of Halle Berry, who played Catwoman. Not that that's relevant to the case, but just a bit of information. But yeah, you can see there's security cameras. I mean, the thing is that Tesla will have so much information. Maybe that's what's taking the police so long, because it's not just, a day thing. You just phone up Tesla and say, release the information from this car. They have to go through a process, etc. So maybe that's the hold-up in this case, trying to get all the data together.
The raid, Trifunovic says they didn't want to live there anymore and are breaking the lease.
Oh, the other thing I want to say, where is he living then? Where is he living? Nobody seems to know where he is. He's, gone underground. Where is he, this guy? David, where has he gone? Yeah, interesting.
The home was previously owned by Halle Berry.
You're not seeing a really good shot of it. The beautiful side of the front. Oh, by the way, these shots are from our friend Harvey Levin over at TMZ. Take a look at this. So he leaves and breaks a lease. Coincidentally, Melissa McCarty joining us, investigative reporter and host of Killer Jeans podcast. He breaks a lease to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars. He may have had to pay out the lease. I don't know how many years it was.
No, the thing is, that won't matter to David, does he? He just want to get away from there because he won't want people, there'll be reporters around there and this, that and the other. I think one thing we can say that David is not short of his money because of all, even though his tour might have been cancelled. He's getting all these download money, I presume, and everything. He's getting money from somewhere. I don't think he's, short of money.
What, $20,000 a month for how long? How many months? How many years? He breaks the lease and flees in the middle of the night. Tell me about the search of that mansion that just went down, the mansion that once belonged to Halle Berry.
Well, police officers are looking for anything to help build a case at this point. So they're looking for traces of blood throughout the property. They're also collecting all kinds of electronics because they also, a huge issue here, they need to prove the extent of this relationship that he had with this child. So they're looking at communications, when they met, what age was she when they connected. So anything that could.
Look at her little face on there. That's, even there, though she's smiling, she looks anxious, doesn't she?
Could help them build a physical and digital forensic pathway.
Mladen Trifunovic, the owner of the home Burke was renting for $20,000 a month, has hired a private investigator, Steve Fisher, to try and find out what was happening in the home he owns. Fisher was hired shortly after a forced search warrant was served at the home. Nobody was home when police served a search warrant.
The LAPD says Celeste had been deceased for weeks before being discovered in Burke's Tesla. Private investigator Steve Fisher says he has seen surveillance video from neighbor homes and knows exactly when the Tesla was last moved and who moved it to the location from where it was towed in very late July.
And the only way to amass that information, to gather it, is from the cams in the neighborhood. Listen.
Surveillance cameras in the
so this is obviously a video that's been put together. Unless Nancy's a very good quick change person as far as her outfits are concerned. This is a different outfit. Now we're going to hear from Steve Fisher. Again, we've heard from Steve before. You know, he's the one who went into the house and saw the chainsaw and the burn cage, reported on those. He was employed by the owner of the property. So, yeah, let's see what's said.
Hollywood Hills built a complete timeline showing when Burke's Tesla was parked on Bluebird Avenue, who parked it, and whether anything was placed in the vehicle after it was parked. There's also no evidence indicating Celeste's body was transferred into the Tesla after it was parked on the street.
Joining me right now, private investigator Steve Fisher. He's been on the case from the very, very beginning. Missing persons private investigator, search and rescue specialist, and owner of Search Investigations. He is the one hired by the Hollywood Hills property renter, the leaser, where D4VD David Burke was living. You claim that you have amassed video camera evidence from the neighborhood, and that having looked at that, you've pieced together a timeline, and you know when Burke's Tesla with a dead body in it, I think, was first parked in the neighborhood. When was it first parked in the neighborhood?
It moved to that last spot on July 29th at about 11 something in the morning. And I'll tell you, it was in the same shape that we saw it in those tow photos, where it was completely dirty and trashed. I could tell that they had run the windshield wiper once just so they could see out of it, and they had rolled the window down to move it, even though they're moving about a block and a half. But it was in that condition still, so it had not been used in a long time. They had clearly been just moving it around different areas of the neighborhood.
July 29, 11 a.m., Burke's Tesla was moved to its last location. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you know where it was parked before that?
That I don't know, because from the house that it was taken from is a little bit down the hill, but on the same street that the rental house is on.
Okay. So you're telling me the Tesla that held Celeste's decomposing body was ultimately left on the same street where he was living?
It looked like it was coming from the rental house. I can't say for sure, but there's only a few houses on that street. I guess that's like an off street, and it came down that road and was turning onto where you go up the Bluebird there, where it was left.
Okay. Are you telling
Interesting, isn't it?
me on a video you can see the Tesla coming from the direction of his house?
Yeah, so the road is curved, and so the house that captured that is kind of at the base of the curve. So you can see it coming down the road. You can't see exactly where it started, and you can't.
That's interesting, isn't it? So because it's curved, you can see it coming down the road, but you can't see exactly where it's come from.
Can't see the driveway of the rental house. It stops right before that. The camera angle does.
Wow. Okay. Did you see any camera video of any nature that showed the Tesla parked in that area prior to July 29?
I have seen the images that I obtained from the Department of Transportation on the day it was ticketed and towed, which was September 5th. And then I have seen a video that shows it in May of 2025, very clean, but actually parked on that Bluebird Street, that one where it was ultimately towed from, but it was clean at that time.
Joining me now, Scott Eicher, who has actually performed experiments with a Tesla. Founding member, FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team.
Now, this is very interesting. This guy has a Tesla. I presume it's his Tesla. And he's done some experiments with his daughter.
Former police officer, homicide detective with Norfolk, Virginia. Currently, precision cellular analysis. Scott, thank you for being with us. Explain what you learned about this Tesla, other than the fact that if the trunk is open over 10 minutes, an alert is sent by text or email to the owner.
Yeah, and the Tesla, as we have talked before, has numerous cameras on it, so you get these alerts when the trunk is open, or the front trunk, they call it the frunk, and there's a small area in front of in the front of the car there in the front that you can put baggages or groceries. That's what I use it for. But in this case, her body was found inside the frunk of the Tesla.
It's funny, isn't it, having a front boot, if you like, or a front. Yeah, so it's quite unusual, isn't it, to thought of putting your shopping in the frunk. But anyway, I haven't got Tesla, so they're not very popular in Spain, actually. I think it's because Elon Musk is not very popular, to be honest. But I know they are popular. I have a few students who have Teslas, think they're brilliant. But there's got to be a lot of information on that car, hasn't there?
It's a very small area, and you can see some of the pictures. This is my daughter here sitting in it.
Who is that? That's your reenact, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Gosh, so he's reenacted. He's put his daughter in there. Well, he hasn't put her in there. She's climbed in there. She's a very similar size, etc., to Celeste. To show it's small, isn't it? It's not a big area. Not as big as a boot is. So, yeah, quite difficult.
That's my daughter. She's about 100 pounds. So it's pretty tight in there for her. But if the victim in this case with Celeste, she's already deceased, they're more foldable and bendable at that point in time.
Oh,
Scott Eicher, how tall is your daughter?
I mean, it's a horrible thought, isn't it? But of course, didn't they say, we don't know, did they, as they say, she was dismembered, maybe she'd been cut in half just to fit into that frunk. Yeah, because this girl, his daughter, she's actually smaller than Celeste, and she's struggling to fit in there.
5'2", 100 pounds.
Okay, that's generally the same size as Celeste, generally speaking. Scott, it's almost a 360-degree video of the surroundings of the car. What all would the cameras catch?
They catch numerous aspects, front, back, and side views of the camera. And this is me reenacting, bringing a bag to the front of the car, opening the hood, placing that bag into that frunk area, that little space that we saw earlier, and then showing. As you can see, that's the dash camera in front of the car.
There's got to be a video like that somewhere, hasn't there, showing clearly who put Celeste in that, put the bag, unless they did it even if they did it in the garage, unless they did it in complete darkness, or they had a hoodie on, or, a balaclava up over their face. It's very interesting, isn't it? It's very useful, this reenactment, I think.
And right by the mirror, and it's facing right down the front of the car. So anybody coming to the front of that car will get viewed pretty clearly, as you can see. And then there's cameras on each side of the car and the rear of the car too.
I want to remind everyone that as we go to air tonight, David Anthony Burke, aka D4VD, is innocent in the eyes of the law, and he remains innocent unless the presumption of innocence is pierced and overcome by evidence that proves him guilty. Take a look at Celeste's little middle school boyfriend.
She said how her mom didn't treat her well or whatever, and she didn't like where she was at. We were at PE, and she told me, my friend, that she was running away. and she said it was because of her parents, and she was like joking about it, and she was like happy, like joking like she always was, and like it didn't seem real because like she was like playing around, joking about it, and the next day she wasn't at school, and like that's the last time I saw her. My heart dropped. I was like, I don't know, I just couldn't believe it. I kind of had a feeling when I saw like the first thing. I was like, what if it is her? But I just like brushed it off. But when I saw it really was her, I was like, damn, I really knew.
That's from our friends over at TMZ. That's Celeste Rivas' little middle school boyfriend.
Yeah, she's definitely, this is probably amalgamation of a few videos. She's definitely got a different outfit on it. I do like her outfits. So yeah, that was Celeste's previous boyfriend, her boyfriend from middle school. So let me know what you think. Do you think Celeste, they were saying earlier that David's associates, friends, etc., thought Celeste was older. Do you think she looks older? I mean, she does look perhaps older than 13. She's got, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know it can be difficult to tell how old teenagers are. Maybe they did believe that she was older, 17, 18 even, but I don't know if she looks that old. Maybe a year older than 13, maybe she looks 15, 16, but also her behaviour, would show how young she was in her head, like, surely. But what do you think? Do you think David's associates knew perfectly well that Celeste was younger? Why did she keep covering her face when she had a picture taken? But then why did David even allow the photos to be taken of them together? I mean, is he really that thick? And do public streams with her?
Describing how years in the making she had trouble at home. Why did Celeste Rivas continue to run away from home? How did everybody know that there was trouble at home? As a matter of fact, on this occasion that she ran away from home, her sister went looking for her, even poking her head, the sister, into a liquor store, asking if they...
It's a good question. What was the trouble that Celeste had at home? Was it like normal teenager trouble, if you like, that she was starting to want to break out of boundaries? Or was there something more fundamental going on at home that she felt she had to escape from?
It could look at the surveillance video and see if Celeste had walked by. And sure enough, Celeste was caught on video cam on the incident when she ran away from home. To Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, what happened in that instance?
In that instance, Nancy, we actually can see that Celeste is kind of doing a walk run.
Oh, hey, Dave, look at your monitor. We're showing the video the sister got from the store. And there she is, literally running away from home. Let me be clear. Celeste was not in the liquor store. The surveillance video showed her going by. This little girl running away from home. And I got to ask, why? In this video from our friend Harvey Levin at TMZ. Now, what were you saying, Dave Mack? I just wanted you to see the video.
Gosh, she literally is running away from home, isn't she?
Video.
I just wanted to point out that, that video was at 7 a.m. That's when it was taken, at a time when children would normally be going to school. But so instead, Celeste is clearly kind of in a confused state. If you watch her stride, she's partially walking, partially running. It's like she's not quite sure what she's going to do, but that's the last they see of her. She takes off, and it's a fascinating read into the 13-year-old that is trying to figure out what to do. And as you just pointed out, Nancy, this is a child who spoke about being unhappy at home, not being treated well at home, and wanting to be away. And when
unfortunately, a lot of teenagers say they're not being treated well, but what they mean is they're being given boundaries. That's what happens sometimes, isn't it? But she certainly never looked very happy, though, on her photos.
See her walking and stutter stopping kind of, and then running. It just breaks my heart.
Imagine this. Celeste, a little girl, sister, also a little girl, goes looking for her sister, asking stores and homes along the way if they had seen her sister. Even a young girl going in a liquor store asking if they had seen Celeste, and could she look at the surveillance video. And here is Celeste, 7 a.m., running away from home. Now, I'm certainly not the church lady, but I can tell you this. You need to know where your 12-year-old daughter is at 7 a.m.
A friend of Celeste's mother, Mercedes Martinez, says the family was aware of the relationship with Burke. She doesn't know why they didn't ask where she had been staying. Celeste left again and went back to him. Someone called Celeste's mother and said, "Stop looking for her. She's fine." Take down social media post about Celeste being missing. She felt scared and took down a social media post asking for help finding Celeste.
As we go to air tonight, David Anthony Burke, a.k.a. David, a.k.a. D4VD, who, by the way, his music is through the roof on Spotify. Amazing. The irony. That said, he is radio silent, although we are learning he's going on social media and monitoring Reddit users. Everybody posting about Celeste's murder. And he is trying to control the narrative as it relates to him. So he's not totally quiet. He can go online and do that, but not.
I didn't realize he was going on Reddit and doing that. Well, he won't be able to do that. He won't be able to control the narrative. He's got no chance of doing that. And, you know, sooner or later, the charges are going to come out.
Mention a word of condolence. Speaking of remaining silent, did he not notice Celeste wasn't there? Did nobody say, "Hey, where's Celeste"? Apparently not, because she was never reported missing by either him or her parents. Yeah. Digest that for a minute. Nor was his car reported stolen. Interesting, right? That's called circumstantial evidence. And again,
yeah, now we have talked about that. It's strange, isn't it? If your car disappears from outside your house where you've got it parked, especially if it's got a body in it, or maybe not, maybe he didn't report it because it had a body in it. But of course, this is what I mean. Is he that thick, really? Because he knows the car is registered in his name. So is he just hoping it will go away? Like, it's very odd behaviour. So, yeah, your car disappears from outside your home. If you've got nothing to worry about, you'd report it stolen, wouldn't you? Of course you would. You wouldn't come out and say, "Oh, God, my car's disappeared. Oh, never mind, I'll just get another one."
Burke is innocent. He will not be guilty unless he has been charged and proven guilty in a court of law by a jury of his peers. Is this real? Has this enormous...
Oh, another nice top. I do like these blouses and things she wears. That's lovely. Nice colour suits her.
Gift to the defense just dropped into their lap. It all goes to a myriad of pill bottles found in D4VD, aka David Anthony Burke's home. A myriad of pill bottles belonging here to a myriad of people that were living there in and out and in and out. Based on those pill bottles and so far a lack of a COD, cause of death, does this mean no one will answer up for a dead teen girl decomposing in a hot car trunk? Listen.
Bottles of prescription pain medication and drug paraphernalia are recovered inside the home, not by LAPD, but by Steve Fisher. The LAPD did not publicly disclose finding prescription drugs or drug paraphernalia. Other people were staying there as well, men and women. Their personal belongings in guest bedrooms, bathroom cabinets, and bedside tables. A neighbor reported seeing Celeste sitting on the curb in front of the house as if she was waiting for someone to let her inside.
What does...
Is this like a Diddy scenario, you know, with their parties going on there, with their drug parties, with their sex parties? So all those people coming and going for that house and nobody notice that Celeste 1 was underage and then suddenly disappeared?
It all mean? We know, based on neighbor accounts and more, that Celeste was living in the home of David Anthony Burke, aka D4VD. He says David. Straight out to special guest Steve Fisher joining us, missing persons private investigator, search and rescue specialist, owner of Search Investigation, who is hired by the owner of Burke's mansion. Now, I want to get to the fact that there is no COD right now. In my experience, a toxicology report, a screening would have come back by now, which leaves me concerned, Steve Fisher, that we're not going to get an accurate toxicology report. Why? Because she basically baked and melted in that Tesla trunk. What did you find in D4VD, David Anthony Burke's rented mansion specifically?
So there was opiate prescription medication. There was a few bottles of that. And then there was paraphernalia that you can use to smoke different types of drugs. You know, it's not for, you know, one type. It's something you find in a smoke shop, you know.
Steve Fisher, without divulging names, were there names on the pill bottles of opiates?
They were, and they were hydrocodone. They were Lortab, generic Lortab, opiates, painkillers.
To Luke Kenton joining us, senior investigative reporter with Daily Mail. Luke Kenton, thank you for being with us. You see where I'm going with this, right, Luke? If there were multiple pill bottles of opiates, and, you know, from what I've seen, and it hasn't all made it into mainstream media, there were a lot of people in and out, a core group living there, but a lot of people in and out of Burke's home. There were a lot of pill bottles reportedly in Burke's home. Where I'm going with this is, if we don't get a COD, cause of death, if she's too decomposed to get a good toxicology screen, the argument is going to be, Luke Kenton, she voluntarily, all on her own, just gobbled down a bunch of opiates and she died. That's how she died, everybody. We had nothing to do with it. And then out of fear, we hid her body.
Yeah, now I thought that the police had declared it was a homicide, so they must know something, but I think they've sealed up the records now. You know, it's just awful, isn't it, to think this young girl was in that house. So was it like a party house where there are even orgies maybe going on? And this girl was, you know, in the middle of it all because of the way she'd been manipulated. And it could be a result of something that went on there, which is why she died. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe it wasn't a deliberate homicide. You know, it's a very complicated, complex case, isn't it?
It's where this is going, Kenton. Do you have any idea, Luke Kenton, who the people were going in and out? It was like Grand Central Station at Burke's mansion. And who were the core people actually living there? Any idea on that? Have they been identified and that has just not been released?
They haven't been publicly named. There has been, obviously, as I'm sure you're aware, a lot of online sleuthing going on around this case and trying to piece together the blanks that the LAPD aren't currently filling in for us publicly. Some of these individuals, and I can't speak to the people that may or may not have been living at the home, but there was a group that David was often seen with on social media. One close friend in particular that appeared to be involved in his music team in some capacity.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me is there's a lot of people in and out and nobody can confirm it. Let's see that shot control room that we got from our friend Harvey Levin over at TMZ. The mansion is covered in security cams. So we know who goes in and stays overnight on a daily basis. It's not rocket science, Fisher, to figure out who's living there. All you have to do is ping their phone and see, is it there night after night after night? I mean, do I have to connect the dots here?
No, it's like I said, it's not hard to do. In fact, they put it on their own social media. There's constantly, you know, photos in the house. There's a group of 4 or 5 of them that are always always there, and they're kind of David's, groupies or whatever. They work with them, but they're always around. So these are people that were definitely using the house kind of as a home base, at least.
Yeah.
You know what, Fisher?
Most famous people have an entourage, don't they, of people, various people. People bring their drugs, go and run off and get their food for them, do their shopping, do their cleaning, if any cleaning was ever done. There's normally any famous person, and David was becoming really famous, will have an entourage around them of various different people, won't they?
Let's just cut it. Let's just cut through it. All I need is one witness. One witness to crack. One of Burke's insiders to tell the truth about the night Celeste died. Otherwise, no one is going to be held responsible. That's the way it's heading right now. Things could change. When you say a core group, what does that mean? Are you referring to the 2 to 4 people we think live there with Burke?
Yeah, or at least we're staying there often. They might have had their own residences too, but they had belongings there. The nightstands were being used. In the master bedroom, there was female products, and the bathroom was completely filled with things where it wasn't just an overnight type of thing.
Conspiracy theories abounding online as to what really happened. Listen.
The David and Celeste thing is the most obvious Hollywood satanic ritual I've ever seen.
Now, look at Nancy's face. A lot of people do believe in satanic rituals and things like that. Personally, this case is so weird. I won't put anything past that David. He's a very, very dark, strange guy. But I don't think Nancy agrees with this. Look at her face.
That actually hurt my ear. My ears are bleeding. And that is from @SupremeTings on TikTok. There's more. Listen.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest, gotta be honest with y'all, bro. The David situation is all a PR stunt, okay? You guys are all falling for it. Do you not notice all of us literally singing in the back of my mind? Like, bro, it's a literal PR stunt. He hit #1 on iTunes.
Okay, he lost me with the Cruella hair right there. I'm out. No, I'm not putting him on the stand with another crazy theory, and that is from @Light, Light, Son Zane on TikTok. Take a listen to this.
If this is a setup, what a perfect person to put it on, right? He's got sad, depressing songs. He's got songs about murdering. He is the perfect candidate to set up and frame for a murder.
I don't think David did it. I know I'm gonna ruffle some feathers. Y'all might get mad, but I really don't think he did it.
I'm gonna be honest. David did not do it, man. David did not do it. Like, y'all need to spread the news, man. David.
No, it's true in a way. We don't know for certain that David did do it, but at the end of the day, there's a body found in his car, a girl that he went out with, who had his name tattooed on her fingers, and the same tattoo as he's got, the shush, appeared with him on his music videos, disappeared, and then he never reported her missing or wondered where she was. So now, they may be right. Maybe he hasn't got anything to do with it. But, if you were a betting person and you had to put odds on this case, he would be the favourite.
Did not do it.
I think it's safe to say that David did not kill nobody, bro. Didn't do it, gang. Yo, bro, just think about it, bro.
That is from @KillerRay3. It is from @Curicio2, from @TaganHooks, and from @NKStacks, all on TikTok.
Shocking information uncovered by the LAPD has the investigation spotlight finally pointing on Burke. Investigators have developed new information that leads them to believe Celeste likely died in the spring of this year, and the death is being tentatively treated as a possible homicide.
What?
In the spring? My God, that's ages ago. Oh, here we go, another outfit.
Has changed. What has happened? Why is D4VD, David, now reportedly being viewed as a suspect? Will this result in murder charges? How can this be without a toxicology report as of yet? But to Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter, what I consider to be really validating what many court viewers knew, that D4VD is being considered as a suspect, although it has not been officially announced, is the change in the timeline. Now we are learning that police sources believe Celeste was killed back in the spring. And bombshell tonight, police also looking at a road trip taken into a remote area by D4VD in the spring, where he stayed in that remote area for hours before returning back. I can only assume this information is coming from his nav system, or is there a rat within Burke's camp? Because tonight I definitely smell a rat. Let's.
Interesting what she's saying. Yeah, is somebody talking about him finally? Because they don't want to get involved, get charges. This mysterious trip that he made, like, for hours, and he obviously didn't put the body. Maybe he intended to bury Celeste when he went out there. Maybe something happened that he couldn't, or he did, who knows? That's what's due to come out, isn't it? Did he go to hide the murder weapon or other evidence? Why did he go there? Anyway, the police is dealing with all this. And then since they found out about that, that's when they've said that he is a suspect, haven't they? So, but still no charges yet.
Start at the beginning, Dave Mack. What do you know?
Well, Nancy, we know that D4VD took a trip to Santa Barbara County, which is about 100 miles from the house that he was renting and taking about 2 hours to drive, okay? So he takes this drive in the middle of the night in the spring of this year, and he stays there for a couple of hours. Now, they say remote area of Santa Barbara. If you've ever been to Santa Barbara, remote area can include probably 80% of the surrounding area. Big area, and you can actually be there and not be seen for a long time. He was there for hours. Now, they're also saying they believe, I'm talking about the police investigation is saying to this source, they believe Celeste died sometime in the spring of 2025. So we have Burke driving in the middle of the night to Santa Barbara County in the spring of 2025. And we have them saying Celeste died in the spring 2025.
I told you I smell a rat, because we know, according to the leak, he, the killer, did not do this alone. He had to have help dismembering the body, according to the report. If she is in fact dead since the spring, which coincides with that late night trip out to the remote area near Santa Barbara, you're going to have a witness. You're going to have somebody rat.
Interesting. So is somebody talking? As it gets nearer and nearer to actual charges, as the indictment, the grand jury is sitting, aiming towards indictment, is there somebody out there saying, "Oh, I'm not getting hung for this. I'm an accessory after the fact, but I had nothing to do with it." And are they talking, or has all these details come from data, like David's phone or the Tesla itself?
An arrest is imminent in the D4VD case as a witness is refusing to testify in front of a grand jury. What does that mean?
Interesting.
Now, unlike a defendant who cannot be forced to testify, a witness can be put in jail if they refuse to testify. Straight out to Alexis Tereszchuk, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Alexis, this is what I know. I know it's a state's witness, which means it's a witness that will testify against David Anthony Burke, aka D4VD. It's a female witness against Burke who is refusing to testify, and she has lawyered up. She's got the same lawyer as the record exec that just got a, technical legal term, in front of the grand jury. Just wait, guys, until you hear what he said. That said, she's lawyered up, female, testifying against D4VD, refusing to come in, and she's about to end up in the can, in the pokey for her recalcitrance. What do you know?
Well, you're exactly right. So there has been a grand jury that has been called in Los Angeles County, and Robert Morgenroth, who is an executive who's in charge of David's record label, he testified in front of the grand jury, and he was heard in the hallway outside the grand jury room talking to his attorney saying, I didn't even feel like I needed to be calling the police after she was found dead because we were on tour. I didn't want to jeopardize the tour.
Dave Mack, the person that's getting arrested is the female witness. And I'm betting that it's somebody that lives in that house.
Yeah.
That basically shacks up in there and knows what happened.
Nancy, we were given a huge clue on this a couple of weeks ago.
Very interesting, isn't it? Nancy, the thing that I do like about Nancy's channel especially is she knows about court cases and how they work, because she was a lawyer for many years, a prosecution lawyer. So she does know procedures. She knows what things indicate. So she's a seasoned commentator on true crime since she stopped being, I don't think she's any longer a barrister, prosecutor, but she gives a unique insight, doesn't she?
When in some of our reporting, it was that the police had run that search warrant inside the house, and they were able to determine which person in that house had been sleeping in which room. Remember, they talked about how D4VD had this very tight inner circle. Well, there are 3 or 4 people that were with him constantly and stayed in that house with him. One of those people, I guarantee you, is a female that they're trying to get in court. There was also another tip that we had, and it goes back to when they said he had help, that whoever cut up Celeste had help. They went out, remember, on the long drive in the middle of the night, out in the middle of nowhere, had help. So we've got a couple of hints here as to who it is. The scary part of it is that the same attorney representing his manager also represents this unnamed female that they're trying to bring into court to testify in front of the grand jury.
Let me remind everybody, Celeste was just 13 years old when this whole thing cranked up with David Anthony Burke. She's dead, dismembered, turning into nothing but goo.
Ooh,
and someone doesn't want to testify? Really? Someone that potentially stood by and watched all this happen and did nothing? You can run, but you can't hide. That female prosecutor knows you, your name, your DOB, your SSN, social security number, your address, your mama's name, your brother's name, your boyfriend's name, your tag number. Go ahead, go in, go under oath, and tell the truth. A little girl is dead, and you're refusing to testify. And another thing, to D4VD, David Anthony Burke's manager, shame on you. Yeah. You actually said out in the courthouse hall that you didn't have any duty to call and report a dead girl in a trunk. All you wanted to do was continue with the tour. You know what? Pontius Pilate, just washing your hands and looking the other way. It ain't working this time. If you know or think you know anything about the brutal death of this little girl, Celeste Rivas, please call LAPD 213-486-6890. There will be justice in this case. 213-486-6890. You can either get involved, be a part of the solution, or you can stand back and do nothing and be part of the problem. Tonight, we remember an American hero.
Okay, so I think that was a very good video. It's obviously amalgamation of a few videos building up to that bit at the end. And somebody out there, not only David, but somebody out there knows what's happened in this case. I think Nancy is right. And maybe they're scared of their implication, but they'll get into more trouble if they don't just tell the truth, won't they? It's not too late for them to, it's never too late to tell the truth, actually, you know, because you can go for plea deals and things like that. You know, they're going to get in some trouble that they've covered it up all this time. But the sooner they come out and say what happened, the better. And then, yeah, like you said, as far as the manager is concerned, he actually said he didn't want to jeopardize the tour. Oh, God. You know, does he have children? You know, did Celeste not matter because she wasn't his child? So he didn't feel like he had to report, you know, whatever happened. I mean, the thing is, if you're ever in that situation where things get out of hand and you find out about a crime that you've had nothing to do with, and you may not be able to say something straight away for various reasons, maybe because you're scared that they'll do something to you. As soon as you get some freedom, as soon as you get out there, then you need to go straight to the police, don't you? Was David that scary that everybody was frightened of dobbing him in? Or is it just because they all had a financial interest in his tour? The fact that he was becoming really famous. And is that why they didn't want to dob him in? Because they're riding on his coattails and not caring about this girl. Anyway, so hopefully, I'm hoping within the next couple of days, there'll be some kind of breakthrough. David will be arrested. Let's hope so. For something, because he knows something. You know, even if he didn't kill Celeste, maybe it wasn't him who killed her, but he helped in the cover-up. But one way or another, he knows something, doesn't he? So let's hope all the chickens come home to roost soon. Anyway, thank you for watching. As always, leave me your comments, what you think. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. And again, thank you to everyone who supported my channel in any way. Justice for Celeste. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.